I'm James Maskalyk. I'm an emergency physician and author of the book Life on the Ground Floor. It is a book I wrote that attempts to capture the heart of emergency medicine as I practice it in inner city downtown Toronto, and I teach it in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to the first group of doctors who will become emergency physicians. And it is full of reflections about if the principles that inform emergency medicine and its practice in both of those ERs are simple and natural ones, why does it look so different in those two different places? The question that started the book was asked to me by someone about what was at the core of medicine, what was at the core of what I practiced every day in the ER, and I thought the answer at that point was it's an example of life trying to care for itself. And to do that, there are certain principles at play. And the principles in the ER, if I was trying to teach you, as I try to take the reader through it, have a structure. And that structure starts with airway, breathing, circulation. And so it went from that question to a recipe for it. At least I had the first 3 letters. And then the book started to move on through the alphabet. So it started with those very sincere principles that any medical student can tell you about emergency medicine, and then moves on to the more complex answer to that initial question. I think if there was any conflict between being a storyteller and a doctor, the doctoring one. So, the book is imbued with the ethics that I hold true in medicine, because what I didn't want to do is betray a person's trust, not a patient. I didn't want to have a vested interest. In fact, the only thing that I consider my job in the hospital is to work in someone else's best interest with as little bias as possible. So I didn't want to be biased, because that was important for my patients, that I adhere to that first motive. So I made sure that the characters would be unrecognizable even to themselves. And if there was a story in front of me, what I tried to capture was the emotion from it and not the details, so I could better reflect on that and make it seem more universal. So whether it happened in Toronto or Ethiopia, I could change locations, I could change patients, I can change their images, but hold true to that, the emotion of it, and keep that resonance to capture the reader's attention. The conversation around the book since winning the writer's trust has just been an octave, a different octave in both directions, meaning I've had more people turn to the book. So I get comments from people who otherwise I wouldn't, but then I have people who look at it again differently and who maybe move a little bit deeper into some of the themes of it, which allows for me as the writer what we all hope for, which is a conversation to emerge that explores some aspect of our truest heart or sincerest hopes or deepest fears and dreams. The book is to be published in Italy and Taiwan. So I'm really pleased that it's going to make its way into 2 different languages, at least for now.